Car Lifestyle Podcast
with host
Seth Rose from Exotics Rally,
T minus Gabe Florido
from Car Lifestyle.
I love Ferrari in my life. Can you just buy one?
I can't afford a LaFerrari.
No, you can.
No, I really can't.
No, you can.
No, I really can't.
No, you're just not going to buy one, but you can afford it.
No, I really can't.
No, you can.
I don't have money like that.
It's not what people tell me.
Yeah, who's telling you?
Jovian was like, Seth isn't poverty-stricken. And I was like, yeah.
He did not say that.
He didn't say shit. Yeah.
You dick.
That's my homie, John
Yeah.
Bon Jovian. I'm going to text that motherfucker right now. Like, yo, what are you doing? What goes on in your car collecting world?
In your life.
In your fucking Maybach Batman dressing up world.
And speaking of that, welcome back to the podcast number 17, featuring your hosts, T minus.
Yeah, what up?
And myself, Seth Rose. What's going on? So, today we are just by ourselves. We're going to, chop it up, as T-Minus would say, and as I would say, tic-tac it up. And
we're going to politic up in this bitch.
yeah, so we're going to talk about a couple of fun things. Nothing crazy. We really don't have an outline for today. But what I want to start out with, and a lot of you have been listening for quite some time now, and you've all heard me mention The Hunt. Now, The Hunt is a rally that I organized, and that took place a little over a week ago. And it's a 4-day, 3-night scavenger hunt-based rally. Now, this year we had a lot of the same repeat participants as last year. We had a few new ones, which were great. They were actually really great characters to have aboard. And this year I invited T-Minus, as I did last year, but this year I kind of forced him and coerced him to go. And I told him he really didn't have a choice. So we're going to go through what that rally was all about. And I'll start off by saying that it's not a huge rally. It's a small car rally. It's an intimate group of people. We had 10 teams, so on the average of about 24, 25 people. And it started in New York City. And from there, the states that we went through were New York, New Jersey, Delaware. We touched Maryland and Virginia. And we ultimately wound up in Baltimore for the last night. Now, what I urge people to do is check out the website at thehuntrally.com. It's going to be improved and relaunched, but there's a lot of information on there. And what's interesting about this rally versus a lot of the other rallies out there, and just as a side note, one of our listeners has asked us multiple times to talk about rallies. And they've asked,
is true.
And they kept asking us, and we've kind of, it's not that we've avoided it, we're just looking for the opportunity to talk about it. So I think now's a good time, because I can also make a comparison to the rally that I just, completed. So the hunt is a scavenger hunt rally. It's app driven by an app that I helped develop that's licensed to Exotics Rally. And what it does is it gives you clues to different tasks along the way. And if you complete those tasks successfully in the order that they're presented to you, that will take you on the route of the rally. And what's interesting about that is everybody has their own unique way of completing the tasks. And when they take pictures, I give extra credit for creativity. So by the end of the rally, people start really getting very creative. We had one team in particular, who you mentioned his name before, Jovian, who he actually won Spirit this year.
It was well-deserved.
Spirit of the rally, because he had a Maybach 57 that he called the Bachmobile. And he decaled it up with the original Adam West Batman decals, which was very unique, as was the original ones.
Absolutely.
And it was a Maybach. And they dressed up as characters from Batman every single day. He had at one point he had one girl with him at the beginning. Then it multiplied to 2, and then by the end he had 3 girls. And I mean, who's better than him, traveling around the Northeast or the Mid-Atlantic states with 3 chicks in the car, dressed up as Batman one day, he was the Joker another day, and he was the Riddler another day.
The Riddler, right.
Right. And these girls are like Catwoman and Batwoman.
Bane.
And all these different things. And it was a lot of fun. They had a lot of fun. and their pictures were great. So all those pictures that people take on the rally are going to be downloaded this week and will be up on the website so people can see the actual tasks that were completed. Now, just to name a few, which was interesting, I mean, the very first task of the rally when we launched from Manhattan was to find a marina, and at that marina there were mega yachts, and I said, take a picture aboard one of the mega yachts. Creativity counts. Now, how this happened, I still don't know, but it was just by a lot of smooth talking. One of the teams wound up inside the engine room of a mega yacht and took a picture, which was definitely unique. So, but T-Minus, why don't you tell us what you thought of the rally as a whole?
I was really impressed, honestly. And I don't usually like to give Seth credit because his ego is, a lot larger than the size of the room that we're in right now.
True.
And we're in a warehouse.
True.
Yeah. No, but I was really, really pleasantly impressed. I mean, I thought it was just going to be another, place to place to place, hotel to hotel, dinner to dinner, type of rally. And it wasn't. And, I mean, my hat's off to the guy because it was incredibly well planned out and strategically put together. Clues in different places, and you had to look for certain items that were maybe buried or maybe behind something or maybe not there. And there was, you're really left up to your own, plan to get to the next place. There's no route card. There's no like, okay, we just had breakfast. Everybody jump in their cars. We're on our way to St. Louis. We know the hotel, whatever. Everything is really, really like by the seat of your own pants. So if you don't have an intelligent team with you,
You're
good luck.
You're kind of screwed.
Yeah, good luck making it to the next place,
Yeah, you need to have somebody with some good common sense and some know-how.
And navigational skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and Google and things of that nature. Now, just to take people on the path. So we started in New York City. And the first task, like I mentioned, was the yacht. The second task was to find the oldest cemetery and find the oldest... You done moving stuff around?
I might be.
Mr. Fidgety. To find the oldest tombstone in a cemetery and take a picture with it. So there were kind of some really strange ones that I thought of. And to be honest with you, when I plan out the rally, I do it myself. I go on the road, and I actually planned that out in about 2 days straight, just by driving and exploring. There was one point where one team, one of the tasks was at a rest stop, you had to go in to find the largest gumball machine, get a purple gumball out of it, put the gumball in your mouth and take a picture with it. So one of the teams decided to be crafty and hide the gumball machine. So there's a picture of him actually getting escorted by security out before he almost got arrested by the state police because he took the gumball machine and dragged it into the bathroom.
The men's bathroom.
The men's bathroom.
Right.
After he got the gumball, figuring that nobody would be able to complete the task. So there's a lot of, pranks that go on.
Yeah, it's competitiveness.
Yeah. And it really, truly makes people competitive. In fact, that gentleman who did that with the gumball machine, the very first task, he was pissed off. He said, "This is ridiculous. I did not sign up to work."
To work, right.
And he said that for the first task. And then after that, he absolutely embraced it. He fell in love with it. He is super stoked about the next one. In fact, he brought me one of his cars to have work done. And he's very excited for it. And he was probably one of the best participants throughout the whole rally. He was really a good sport.
He was super into it.
Yeah, he was a good sport. He was very enthusiastic. He was very competitive. Mm-hmm. And it was neck and neck up to the end. But so for the first night, we ended, actually the first day, I should say. For lunch, we went to a racetrack.
Right.
New Jersey Motorsport Park, where T-Minus, thankfully, climbed the tower and was getting good shots, which those will be shared, soon enough. And so thank you for that.
Absolutely.
And then we wound up in Atlantic City for the night, where we had a great steak dinner. Some people gambled, others went out to a nightclub for a party, and then the next day we were off. And it was a big, people were kind of clueless where we were going for most of the time. I mean, I kept it a very good secret.
Very good.
Yeah. And
legitimately, one of Seth's closest friends, Tony King, was on the verge of ending their relationship by beating Seth up. Legit.
Ending the relationship, and also was begging T minus for information.
Yeah.
And the best part was he really legitimately did not have
I
it.
didn't know. Like, I would have, Seth, where are we going? Oh, we're going. I'm like, but where? Are we going south? Are we going west? What is it?
When we get there, you'll see.
Yeah. Wouldn't even tell me. I mean, was a little annoying. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. And for me, it was difficult at times to keep it secretive and not slip up.
Yeah.
It was also
It worked out, though.
For me, though, it's a lot of fun because I'm almost like the Grand Wizard, and I'm kind of like, watching all these people on on like a game board go different directions in different places, and to watch it work for me is the most gratifying experience. To see, because I'll drive ahead and go to like the fifth stop, the sixth stop, because I know where everything is.
Right.
And to watch the first couple of cars pull in, for me, it's like, okay, great. They did follow the route, they followed the clues, and they got here.
Right. It's like a Rube Goldberg, like one of those kinetic things that, you roll the ball down the chute and then it hits a card, which hits something else.
Right.
And that.
Big
and
obstacle
you're
course.
Right. You're watching the entire thing take place, and it was all your idea kind of thing. Yeah.
And when it works, it's even better.
Yeah,
I mean, because every once in a while you get a little hiccup. Like the app that we used last year used GPS coordinates. Now it uses the address. So you can put the address in, but sometimes the address doesn't actually match up 1,000,000% to where they're supposed to check in on the GPS. And, sometimes it could be a hiccup, but if it's a hiccup for one, it's usually a hiccup for all. And then you just take that task out and move on.
Not to mention, sometimes you don't have cell service.
Yeah.
So you're like, whoa, where'd the clue go?
Right.
Yeah.
And then probably the most competitive part of the rally was I had found in the middle of Maryland this very obscure, tiny little railway station.
It was like The Walking Dead. I kid you not.
It was really strange. I was trying to, I drive a certain amount of miles, and I'm always trying to find an activity or something, a challenge for people to do. And I got to this point where I got off an exit, I didn't find anything, so I got back on. I get off the next exit, I didn't find anything, I got back on. But I will tell you that in this part of Maryland, it was mostly farms, and every time I got off, there was like a little farm stand that was unmanned. And there were all sorts of fruits and vegetables. And there was a little tin cup that said, fruit is $1 per piece or 25 cents per piece. Please put money in the tin. And I shit you not, every tin had money in it. I had to stop to look.
The honor system. Absolutely.
And there's no cameras. There's no,
Right.
There's nobody watching. There's no security. And people would actually, they put money in. It was, like you said, it's the honor system. And people are just good people.
They embrace it. Absolutely.
So then I came upon this other exit, and I got off, and I'm just driving. I'm like, there's got to be something here. And I stumble across this, like, antique, like, 1700s railway station. It was like this little hut, right? I mean...
Like, I was beside myself when I got there. I was like, really? Like, how does this still exist? And why is it here? Why isn't it in, like, the middle of New Mexico?
And the biggest... You kept saying to me, like, how'd you find this?
Like, how did he find it? You don't understand how desolate it was. We're talking... There's houses, there was a warehouse, there was a stoplight, there was no movement. We're talking straight Walking Dead scenario in the middle of like a movie
No
set.
cars were passing.
Nothing. And like the thing is pristine. It's not like run down. It looks like, it was busy yesterday, but there's no one for miles. It's really strange.
So while I was initially visiting, I said, well, I need to have these people do something besides check in. So on the task, you could do a check-in, a photo, and you could do a question and answer. So what I did was I decided that I was going to make a challenge here and really make it challenging. And what I found was an old railroad spike. So I took this railroad spike and I hammered it into the ground. And I made the challenge, whoever finds the railroad spike, take a picture where the spike was found, and you will get an additional 1,000 points, which could either make the last place person back in the competition or the first place person romp everybody.
Right.
So it could have a lot of different functions if you were to find it. So my dear friend and co-pilot from Bull Run, Tony King, who was driving his ass off the entire event. I mean, he was in a brand new 2015, I think.
Yep, black.
2015 black 991
Porsche
GT3.
GT3, yeah.
And you can look him up on Instagram at black991 GT3. Or no, black GT3. It's just Black GT3.
I think it's Black GT3. Yeah.
On Instagram, Black GT3. That's Tony King, and you'll see some pictures from the hunt. And he was driving it like he stole it. He did a great job. So that particular day, that task to find the spike was, I think, the 5th task. So he decided to go straight for the spike. He figured because of the points, he was going to go for it. So what did he do? He went for it. He drove about 160 miles an hour all the way straight to the railway station.
Yeah.
He got there within minutes. And after about a half hour, he called me threatening me. He legitimately was like, listen, we're friends. Let's continue to be friends. Please just tell me where it is. Give me a hint. Nobody has to know. And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Now, the funny thing is that I buried that spike 3 weeks prior.
So it could really not even be there.
Yeah, it could have been totally gone because they do groom the property. Who knows? Like maybe a landscaper came by, mowed, hit the damn thing, was like, oh, let's get this thing out of here.
Right.
So it was a little crazy because I still didn't know if it was there. So after he called me, I said to my girlfriend who was with me at the time, I was like, you know what? We should just drive straight to the railroad station. This is going to be kind of funny. So when we got there, he was physically going to try to like harm me, but he could never do that. But he was really upset. And he was like, please, I'm begging you, just tell me where it is. I passed everything. I drove straight here just for this. And I said, well, you probably shouldn't have. So I wouldn't tell him. He spent another good 45 minutes. Other teams showed up that had completed the other tasks. They could not find it either. He did, however, stumble across a 4 to 5 foot snake, which was interesting. They did everything except tear the building down to find this spike. So at the end of the day, he did not find it. He went back and redid all the tasks. So he doubled all the way back.
He was pissed.
He was super
like
pissed.
legitimately upset. Like he was upset. He was disturbed by this. Yeah.
He was emotionally upset with me.
And when I got there, I was with Jovian in the Maybach. And when we got there, Mo was already there. Mo was with his wife. Mo from Petrolworks, good friend of ours, was with his wife combing the parking lot, legitimately moving rocks.
He was like rappelling off the roof to look for this thing.
Yeah, they were like disassembling this railway train station, looking for this railway spike.
The interesting thing was the clue. Most people did not pay attention to the clue because the clue said that the spike was buried in the ground. So everybody's looking high and low. They're looking in the gutters, all over the place. And this is an historic, landmark. I'm waiting for like state police to show up,
right.
Conservationists, like Smokey the Bear or something like that. Somebody show up and like, draw their weapons and really like...
Yeah, there was like 5 rundown cars in the entire town, and the railway station is filled with a Maybach, a Gallardo,
an i8.
An i8. What else? A SRT 8 Jeep, a Spiker, an LP 640 Roadster. I mean, it was just ridiculousness.
Yeah.
And the oddest thing for me is that no one came out of their house like,
not a
what's
single
going
person.
on here?
That's what, before you got there, and I was standing there laughing at all these people trying to find the spike, which I didn't even know still existed. A guy pulls up a woman pulled up in like a Hyundai.
Right.
And they were looking and like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
And a guy pulls up behind her in a pickup truck and starts wailing on his air horns.
Really?
I looked at him like, you're in that much of a rush in this part of the country?
Right. Like
it
there's
was
like a 3 mile an hour town limit in that place.
It was really bizarre.
Yeah, it was very weird. It was almost like a FEMA town made for flood victims. I don't know. It was very weird.
But what's funny, before you got there was another team that showed up who the ultimate winners, which was Team Kicking Asphalt in the Gallardo.
Right.
When they showed up to look for it. Now, they searched every square inch of the property. They really did. And I told them that it was within the confines of the railway station,
right,
from curb to curb.
Right.
He started walking on the railroad tracks, and before you know it, he found 2 spikes. And I'm like, no. It's in the confines of the railway station. I'm like, shit, I didn't even see,
Yeah.
I had no idea there were other spikes, but it legitimately was, the clue was at the railway station. So, but they eventually found it. I left them there. I left and went ahead. They were there for close to 2 hours.
Wow.
And they actually found it. So they got the
I know.
And
like...
the crazy thing was, they were in last place.
Oh, yeah, I know.
They, last year, took second place. they thrived at this. They were really good. This year, they totally bombed out from minute one. From the get-go, they couldn't do anything right. They went to the wrong cemetery. They went to the wrong marina. They couldn't do anything proper. And as soon as they got that spike, their whole rally turned around. So they wound up ultimately winning. But after the spike, we had to, I mean, I just found some cool spots, I guess.
We were definitely like, how does Seth find this shit?
The antique
like,
store.
even the places for lunch that we went, it wasn't your beaten path type of restaurant. Not even let's say a higher end chain restaurant. So there were no like P.F. Chang's or Cheesecake Factories or any of that. It was really like small mom and pop delicious places.
Yeah, that place in Delaware by the beach.
Yeah, that was
by the
awesome.
boardwalk. It was like a little tiki bar, so unassuming.
Super awesome.
Because you just walk up and it's like this little sign
Right.
that says "This is how we tiki" or something, and then you go in and it's much bigger on the inside. And they had like all these different specialties, Cajun specialties.
Yeah, they
and
had
stuff.
alligator on the menu.
Yeah.
They had shark on the menu. What else did they? Bison, elk. I was like, really? But it was like a cool little spot. Like not too much, really. It was like comfortable. There was no pretension. It was nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's for me, it's so much fun. Planning them. It's very frustrating. I mean, I do it on my own, so it is frustrating. But I don't know. I just love that it worked so well. And of course, by the end of the rally, also everybody was vowing to be back next year.
Right. But it's so much fun though, legit, because you're so competitive, and whoever you're traveling with, that really is what makes it for you, because you love their company. They're trying to find out. You're trying to find out. You're trying to win. But you're friends with everybody else in the rally, but you don't want them to win. So it really adds a new element to a road rally, that's based around driving on nice roads and and going places. So I was really impressed, and I was like, man, you should make this more often. You gotta do 2 a year or whatever. I mean, it really stepped up the benchmark or the bar for me, because now going on a regular rally is really just a drive from place to place.
Well, the biggest hurdle of organizing these rallies is not getting people who want to participate. It's getting the people to actually sign up and commit. Mm-hmm. That is the most difficult part. And I know I speak for a lot of the other rallies out there, whether it be Gold Rush or Bull Run or Gumball. People inquire all the time. I had about 50 inquiries and people that wanted to go on the rally, like, when is it? How much is it? I mean, all that information is on the website, but they want to speak to somebody. They want to talk about it. And I went over it. And at the end of the day, we wound up having 10 teams. Like I said, 10 teams, but one car had 4 people.
Right.
So there were 22 plus another, so 25 people altogether, which was a nice size.
Yeah, it's like a little vacation. Guys bring their girlfriends or their wives or their friends or their attorneys or whatever it is.
Yeah, and everybody had a great time. I thought the food was very good. I thought the hotels were nice.
They were.
And I look forward to planning next year's. I've already mapped out the route pretty much, and where we're gonna, the areas that we're gonna go to. Now I just have to get on the road and make it happen. But again, you can check it out at thehuntrally.com. I think it's something that everybody should experience, or at least check out, and maybe you'll really enjoy yourself. I know that some people, it's not for them. They just want to drive from point A to point B. But to me, I can get on the road at any given time, hop on the highway in my car, and just drive. There's really no purpose in that versus the scavenger hunt. And of course, we gave out prizes and cash prizes. And we also, Jovian for the Spirit won a Azad watch, who was one of the sponsors. You can find them at Azad Watch NYC or azadwatch.com. They gave us a pretty cool watch. Did you see the watch?
No, I didn't.
You didn't see it?
I didn't have an opportunity.
It was a pretty cool watch. I think it had a carbon fiber face. And
that's cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So we gave that away. And at the end of the day, there was only one casualty on the rally. Now, last year we had 0 casualties. There were no tickets, no accidents, no problems, Zippo. And this year I can safely say
that guy didn't act up, he'd be all right now.
And I would say this year was pretty much the same. And the only casualty that we had was yours truly. I got nailed in Virginia. And it was kind of embarrassing how it happened, because we all met up at a rest stop to take a picture of the sun setting. And
Which
then,
was incredible.
Yeah, it was a great scene. It was right at the Chesapeake Bay Bridge, which if anybody has ever been there, it's a sight. And then I realized to myself, but wait, if we all leave at the same time, everybody's going to want to follow me to get to the destination.
Right.
So I said, I kind of got to sneak out of here. So I told my girlfriend to pretend like she was shivering. And she went in the car and everybody's like, oh, what are you doing? I said, she's freezing. I'm just going to let her sit in the car. So I went into the car. I made sure my headlights were off. And I released the e-brake. And I just took off like a bat out of hell. Jumped on a Chesapeake Bay Bridge. I'm going through the gears. All of a sudden, I come around this turn, and bam, there's a cop just sitting there.
Meanwhile, it's a 17-mile bridge. There is no place for a cop to be. They made a spot for him, and he was there.
And he was there.
Yeah.
And they're known to do that, too. It's known for that. It was probably on Waze, but I wasn't paying attention to anything. My radar detector was unplugged because they're illegal in Virginia. So I was like, you know what? I just deserve it. I really do. So he held me up for a little bit, gave me an 85 and a 55, which in my rally history, it's kind of pathetic.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah. Don't mention that again.
Yeah, we won't talk about that. But
Yeah, don't be proud of that.
at the end of the day, Virginia, 85 and a 55 is reckless. And
Which is terrible.
yeah, it's rough.
Yeah.
But thankfully, points don't reciprocate, and we're taking care of that one. But overall, again, the Hunt Rally was great. I had a great time. I thank all the participants. We'll have some of the participants in the future on the podcast to talk about it. And I know T-Minus had a great time. And
I did actually have an excellent time.
And
And I would recommend it to anybody. And I'm hoping to maybe get involved next year from Car Lifestyle and make it bigger and better. And I when you do something and you have a great time, it's not like somebody's trying to convince you or they're trying to, force their opinion on you.
you believe in it at this point.
Absolutely, I believe in it. I had a great time. I had a legitimate great
and I
time.
truly appreciate your opinion and the kind words because I know you're a tough critic when it comes to things like this and automotive events as a whole. And to see how
Indeed.
much you enjoyed it and to see how much you admired it definitely made a difference to me because it really, for somebody like me that goes out there and does this and really puts their best foot forward to make sure that everybody else is having a good time, for somebody like you who's involved in the automotive world to come forward and tell me and give me that pat on the back and say, you know what, this was dope.
Oh, yeah. My
and
hats are
simple.
really off to you. My hat is really off to you.
It really, validates me and what I'm doing.
Absolutely. I mean, really, honestly, I couldn't imagine anybody that I'm cool with going on this and not being like, that was sick. Let's do it again. When are we doing it again?
Well, look, Mo from Petrolworks.
He had a sick time.
He was apprehensive about going. He wasn't sure. He wasn't sure who was going to come with. He wasn't sure what car he was going to bring. And at the end of the day, he wound up borrowing a friend's car.
Right.
His car wasn't prepared. And he and his wife, who are relatively quiet people,
Yep.
very sweet, very nice people, I mean.
Incredibly nice. Yeah.
Big hearts and everything. And his wife was actually 5 months pregnant.
Yep.
They came on the rally and they had the time of their lives. And he said he will absolutely be back next year. He also, I think he took third place this year.
He did take third place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is nice because you offer cash prizes.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know any other rallies that do that.
Yeah. Top 3 places with cash prizes. Then we had Spirit of the Rally and we had Best Car.
Who won best car?
Best car was the i8.
Oh, the i8, right.
Yeah. They got Best Car, which one of the tasks was to buy some old time candy and take a picture of it, a creative picture of it. And some people just, bought some Pop Rocks, took a picture. It was kind of funny, though, because in the clue, I put buy some old time candy. For example, Pop Rocks, Ring Pops, candy cigarettes. So what did everybody buy?
Those three
items.
Because
So-
they're like, we can't be wrong here. Yeah.
So I had this big, huge vat of Pop Rocks. Like
Right.
me and Shannon, my girlfriend, were sitting there with Pop Rocks in the hotel room, like. I'm like, let's drink some soda, see if it really works.
Oh, it works.
It doesn't kill you.
No, it doesn't kill you.
Right, but that was the old rumor
What,
years ago.
It kills you?
Mikey, you never heard that?
No.
It was a rumor. Hold on. I'm surprised you never heard this one.
No.
When we were kids. That's
But
all.
you should try the Mentos and Coke.
That works.
That definitely works.
It's put a Mento
Like,
in your
that's a
stomach and drink
problem.
soda.
Yeah.
No, that'll explode.
Yeah.
Mikey Pop Rocks. I'm going to Google this right now.
This is where Mikey Likes It came from?
Well, it's not where it came from. Okay. Rumor. Here we go on Snopes. Snopes always good. You ever go to the website,
Yeah.
Snopes?
Yep.
It's pretty good.
They debunk a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But I think that they're run by the government.
Like
so it's all good.
chemtrails.
Yeah, Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster,
Yeah.
aliens. Yeah.
The claim: Little Mikey of Life cereal fame
Oh,
died from the explosive effects of mixing Pop Rocks candy with soda pop. False. A kid ate 6 bags of Pop Rocks at a party. He then proceeded to drink a 6-pack of Pepsi. The two substances combined in his stomach and exploded, killing him horribly. That's why Pop Rocks were taken off the market in the early 80s.
Really?
But that's a false statement.
Wow.
But that's what the rumor was.
Huh.
So that is totally a rumor. Mikey is fine. Don't know what he's doing today, but yeah, so we were eating some Pop Rocks and Ring Pops, and there was so much of it. I mean, you have 10 cars that stop to buy candy. You got a lot of stuff, so that was kind of cool. And then we had people buy some lotto tickets at one point, and then I said, did you get the text where I sent out the picture of the lottery tickets?
No.
Yeah, I sent it out just to be fair so everybody saw in case, all of a sudden one of them won and I disappeared into Tahiti.
Right. They're like, that's my $27 million there, guy. Yeah.
So I had people buy lottery tickets. Most of them were scratch-offs. So I gave those to the BMW i8. I think it was $10.
Right.
And then the actual lotto drawing tickets I held on to. And I told everybody that I was going to send copies out to everybody. And if there was a winner, we'd divide it up evenly.
Right.
So, the joke was, if you don't get a picture of the tickets and you don't hear from me, I'm probably in Tahiti somewhere.
Right.
But they were not winners whatsoever.
Mm.
I don't
Too
know.
bad. Whatever. Look at the draw.
Yeah.
But it's a great time completing the tasks and getting the points and
the
trying to
interaction.
be like the
Listen.
biggest point getter.
The interaction with not only the participants but the people in these different areas of the United States.
Right. Absolutely.
You're exploring and you're going. Listen,
Right.
It's not
and
very
you chose
often.
really good roads to be on. And they weren't just all like legitimate, normal public highways. They were good roads.
It's not very often you pull up to like Everton, Maryland, to an antique store, and there are 10 exotic cars in a parking lot.
Right.
Everybody's
Right.
in their pickup trucks, and it's a very rural area, and they were just mesmerized by it. So it was kind of cool. So we got to share with them our passion, and they shared with us theirs.
Yeah, it makes for a great experience.
And people just had a good time. So I'm happy that it went smoothly. And the next event that we're going to have is going to be Turkey Run,
Which is always a good time with a crazy turnout.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. I'm looking at November 22nd, which is
Okay.
roughly when it is every year, and it's always a crazy turnout. It's going to be
Crazy turnout.
It's going to be a pre-registration now. I'm going to make people register in advance because I am going to do, just like I did last year, the scavenger hunt.
Oh, we're going to win this shit.
And
Because I am on it now. I'm serious.
well, last year you were having fun with it
Like,
too.
now I know how easy it is to win.
Oh, you think so?
Well, no, it's not easy. But if you're on it, if you're there to win, there's a definite possibility of it. It's not like you're in a raffle and you're like, okay, I bought 15 tickets out of 5,000. I'm going to win this. No. If you're really there to win and you're on your A game, there is a definite chance you can win.
You should be careful with your words.
I will. I did it right last year. Just a bunch of haters called me out.
Yes, they certainly did.
Yeah. I was cheating.
Yes, you were. You were Googling pictures.
Yeah. So Seth was like, take a picture by the Big Duck in Long Island. Take a picture by Nassau Coliseum. Take a picture by... So you have to drive to all these places and then take the picture. So, you're encouraged to get there before everybody else. So I started Googling random pictures as opposed to like, the website picture of all these places that looks like I just took a cell phone shot. And I started posting them. And I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I could just stay here in this parking lot and go to 15 different places and post. So I had like 2,500 points when the entire rest of the rally, which is probably, I don't know, 200 or 300 cars, everybody was like, how is this guy accumulating these points? He's driving a CRX. Like, how is that possible? I have a 900 horsepower Porsche and I'm not making these. So how does he do it? And then, so somebody figured it out and they called and they were like, Seth, what's going on? Like, how? And Seth was like, none of those pictures are admissible. And I was like, oh, thanks.
Yeah, so I started flagging them all, and that was it. We deleted those puppies. So that's the Turkey Run Rally, which is going to be November 22nd. And, excuse me. I'm a little tired. I was working all night. But anyway, those are that's probably going to be the final event for this year.
Nah, I'm sure we'll do a snow event.
Maybe do like a winter SUV rally or something.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
A little gathering. It's always nice to have the cars out in the snow.
Absolutely. That's my favorite time to drive.
Yeah. It is the favorite time to drive and shoot as well.
I gotta buy some rear-wheel drive for the snow. Because there is nothing more fun than driving sideways down the LIE at 60 miles an hour.
That could be very interesting. So
Speaking of interesting,
yes.
Our next podcast, we are having a very special guest on.
Very special guest.
Absolutely. And it's automotive history. Our podcast is legitimate
history.
automotive history.
But let's talk about leading up to it.
Sure.
So most of our listeners know that I own and drive a Spyker. Now, a lot of people don't know what a Spyker is. You can Google it. It's a handcrafted. They consider it a bespoke exotic car. Some call it a supercar. It is made in Holland. It was designed by a Dutchman. And that company started back in the 1800s as a car company and then turned into an aircraft company. And then it was relaunched by the current owner in the year 2000. And not to go into too much history because it is in the next podcast.
Right.
There was recently a 15-year anniversary celebration for Spyker. And the CEO of the company, who is Victor Muller.
And has a very interesting story.
Yes, was present. And he, in speaking with him, I asked him if he would join us on a podcast. And he was thrilled. So we sat down actually yesterday to record that one for the future, which will be going up on November 1st, which is right before SEMA. So that one will go up right before we leave for SEMA. And it's a very interesting podcast. It's some great history of Spyker. You get to know Victor a little more personally. If you've read some of the articles on Auto Week or Jalopnik or any of those news outlets that tell, maybe a skewed story of Spyker or very small facts about Spyker. This gives you more of an in-depth look at the brand and about ownership as well. So I definitely would make a point of checking that out. Again, that's November 1st. What else we got going on, T?
What else? I don't know. What else?
I don't know either. I mean,
ironically, though, what you didn't hear, and I just want to address it because I think it's funny.
Sure.
Somebody reached out to Gabe. I don't know why they didn't reach out to me or to you or to Ask CL Podcast, but they reached out to Gabe via DM, some male listener.
Yeah.
And wrote something along the lines of, I love the podcast, but this guy T-Minus is a little bit out of control, and it's very disturbing to hear him talking about fisting in the middle of an automotive podcast.
Really?
Yeah, so I started laughing. So Gabe's like, you might want to tone it down a little bit. And I was like, absolutely not. Like, this is me. This is always going to be me. And, that's the, that's...
Well, it doesn't mean you need to tone it up.
Yeah, I don't have to tone it up. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
You just leave it as is.
Yeah. But I just thought it was funny.
That is pretty funny. And again,
like,
we asked the
people have a problem with everything, Well,
because if it's not how they act in society.
Yes.
And it goes, against the grain as they would consider,
absolutely.
or something that they don't consider normal. Like, what is normal?
Right.
A guy that walks around with a mohawk thinks his haircut is normal.
Well,
when the majority of the population would look at him a little weird.
Right, totally. Because it's not,
he's not
norm.
conforming to society as a whole.
Right, exactly.
So that's interesting. I would have to agree. We could use less of the fisting.
Oh boy!
And we could use more of other
But it just goes to show you if people have,
something to say. They're listening.
they're going to,
Yeah, so don't forget, people, reach out to us at podcast@car-lifestyle.com.
And we'd love to hear your feedback. We do. I mean,
Yeah.
positive or negative. Really, honestly, we don't have, no one sits in the room with us. We don't do this in front of a live audience that says great jokes in the beginning, or I don't know why you went there in that conversation. And we don't have any feedback, and we really, that's how we can, hone our skills and get better, and just by understanding what you guys like and what you guys want to hear.
I mean, it's an open forum for us. It's a kind of a do-it-yourself type of thing. And we're just having fun with it. I'll tell you something that's interesting, which is going on right now, is that we had Alex Roy on one of the previous podcasts, and right now he is driving cross-country in a Tesla Model S with the autonomous driving feature. Which
Module.
Yeah, which if you're not familiar with, it is basically hands-free driving.
It's like cruise control without the pedals, without the steering wheel.
Right, which, is very scary. It's a scary thought that this is where, our future is heading. It's going to be like the Jetsons, except we're not
Pretty much,
flying.
yeah.
Except we're not flying in the air yet. But basically, you'll be able to program your GPS and just put in, Lowe's, hardware store at such and such address, and it's just going to take you there, and it's not going to get you into an accident. It's a smart vehicle. So that's what the future holds. He's driving back now with that. I've seen some of his video and some of his pictures, and it is a little freaky. He doesn't not have his hands on a steering wheel, and they are just cruising along at about 70 miles an hour. Which is
It's a little
scary.
weird.
It's definitely frightening.
It's good for naps.
Yeah, which I like to take a lot of while I'm driving.
Hell yeah, especially late at night. It would really work between exits 50 and 61 for me.
I could do it right now.
You so could.
I'm exhausted. But, yeah, so you can reach us at podcasts at car-lifestyle.com. There's a couple of other things. We'd like you to log on to the podcast website so you can give us a review. We like reviews. Give us some feedback. If we use your topic on the air, we will send you a complimentary Car Lifestyle t-shirt. Please send us an email with your name, address, as well as the size shirt that you like, and we will send you out a Car Lifestyle t-shirt. What else can we talk about? There's been a couple of things. They had the Concours, the Elegance,
Right,
in
which we
Manhasset.
missed, 'cause
We
we
missed
were-
that because we were on the hunt.
And there was a Lamborghini
Veneno?
there, which is unheard of.
Yeah, there was a Veneno there. I think that one. I'm not sure.
Yeah, there's 3 in the whole world, and one was in Long Island.
Well, one resides.
One
in
resides in Long Island, yeah, but it was out of its
Natural habitat?
pristine garage. Exactly. It was actually being driven. I don't know. Very, 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 very special car.
It is a very unique car. I'm not a big fan of the way it looks.
I don't know. I like it.
Really?
Yeah, it looks like I don't know. It looks ridiculous.
Okay.
Glickenhaus's P45 was there,
Yep. Our friend Bobby had his Enzo there.
right?
I'm sure there were a lot of other classic cars there. There was a couple of 918s.
Yeah, I'm sure there was a bevy of 918s.
Yeah.
It's crazy what shows up to this concourse. And it's supercar wise. Vintage car, you're going to want the Greenwich Concourse in Connecticut.
Yes, which was our last interview with
Right, Maria
Giannacci. So we'll definitely be at the Greenwich Concourse. It was just announced and released that in June, I'll see if I can find the actual date, but in June, the Barrett-Jackson Auto Auction will be at Mohegan Sun, Connecticut.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's the first time one of these auctions has been in the Northeast. And yeah, it was released on September 26th. Let's see what they say. They said Barrett-Jackson to present the inaugural Northeast auction in June 2016 at Mohegan Sun. So this is going to be Barrett-Jackson to bring the world's greatest car collector auction. Event expected to attract enthusiasts from around the globe, ride and drives, exhibitors, and more. That's pretty cool because we've never had that in this area.
I'm sure Car Lifestyle will be involved with that one way or another.
Well, I've got my connections over at Mohegan Sun, so we'll definitely get in there.
Yeah, we'll have a presence. You know what we didn't think of that's next for us is SEMA.
SEMA.
SEMA's next.
I mentioned that before. There will be in SEMA November 2nd to the 5th, and we leave on the 6th, I believe. Something like that.
I think so.
We're definitely there the 2nd, 3rd, 4th.
Right. Which is...
Well, the night of the
main
2nd,
days
3rd, 4th,
of-
and 5th, actually.
Okay, so the main days of SEMA are Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and we will 100% be there. I'm pretty unmistakable.
As long as
if you
T-Minus
can't see
doesn't
me,
get-
you can definitely hear me.
As long as T-Minus doesn't chicken shit out and not get on the plane.
Yeah, I am deathly scared of flying.
As big as he is,
I want to be like, just somebody needs to just really knock me out. Put me on a hand truck, dump me in the
Too
plane.
bad, like,
get me home.
SpaceX is not available. Could get you there in, 13 minutes.
SpaceX? What's that?
That's Elon Musk's, his spaceships that he's making to take people into space.
Really?
Yeah, you never heard
Yo,
of
well,
that?
call Alex Roy and, get your homeboy on the phone and be like, yo, what's popping? We need a little favor.
So I think maybe one night if people want to meet up with us,
Yeah, that'd be cool.
why
That's a
don't
good
you?
idea.
Yeah, why don't we do some? Send an email to podcast@car-lifestyle.com if you want to meet up with us in
And you're
Vegas.
in Vegas.
In Vegas,
Yeah.
and you're going to be around. Hit us up, and what we'll do is we'll send out a bulk email where to meet us, so we can all do a little, meet and greet. How does that sound?
Yeah, that's cool.
Are you down
I'm
with
with
that?
that. Absolutely.
All right, so there's your opportunity to meet with us. We're going to be recording a podcast while we're there. Who knows? Maybe you'll become a guest.
Right. We're gonna have some. We're looking to have some very, very notarized or not. Whatever.
Notable.
For lack of a better word.
Notable.
Very special guests on our podcast there, and we'll see if we make it happen.
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome to get some people that listen to the podcast to meet up with us. So SEMA should be cool. I mean, I haven't been there in about 5-6 years.
I haven't been there since 2003.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's when you decided to not fly anymore?
that was when I came out of the closet.
Okay, well, when are you going back?
Why? Would you like to join me?
No. So anyway,
Yeah, so I haven't been there since 2003, and I honestly didn't miss it because I just feel like Vegas has changed so much over the years, and it's really commercial and mainstream, and I feel like it's lost some of that soul that Vegas was known for. And
well, Vegas is now mostly clubs.
yeah, clubs
Yeah.
and stores, but brand name stores, like Chanel, Gucci, this, that, blah, blah. It's not really like gimmicks and 99-cent buffets and
I like those 99 cent
treasure,
buffets, don't you?
yeah, treasured, like the Pirates. What's it called? Treasure Island,
Treasure
with the boat sinking in front of the.
Yeah, it's a little played out.
It's not that anymore, and that
mean,
was really Vegas. Like
Mirage
Circus
with
was
the
huge.
volcano.
Yes, and they had Sigfield and Roy as residents there. Caesar's Palace. Everything was like a gimmick. New York has a roller coaster that goes around the casino, inside the casino, above the players' heads. I don't know, and now it's just not that anymore. And I don't really have a true desire to go to Vegas other than
Well,
to.
we're staying
you
at
know?
a pretty cool place. We're staying at the Aria. Have you been there?
No, I haven't actually.
Very, very nice place. We're staying there. I'm going to treat you to a nice suite there, fella.
Good looking, brah.
So we're going to have some fun there. But we're going to be hitting the show. We're going to be getting there early as possible to get the best photos.
Right, we'll be with Ryan Turk, who is a longtime friend of Car Lifestyle and a huge huge success in not only drifting but the car racing world.
We'll be hanging with Ryan Turk. We'll be hanging with my friend Klaus.
Probably Josh Kalis from Speed Society.
Josh Kalis, Klaus Edensberger.
Right.
I think the Gold Rush Rally people are doing their movie premiere one of the nights or
Right,
something like that.
Yep,
So-
Ramin said that. Yep.
Yeah, so we'll be seeing those people. So all in all, I mean, I think it'll be a really good time.
It's gonna be like
And,
one big hangout.
Yeah, well, it is the single largest automotive gathering in the world.
In the world, yep.
Yeah, it's huge.
Like legit, if you don't have a hotel hookup, you need to book,
You're done.
4 to 5 months
Yeah.
before SEMA because you are not finding a hotel room.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Call your concierge.
Yes.
So,
And get yourself a room.
for real.
Any other
So,
topics you want to hit? Any cars in your future? Have you been shopping for any cars?
I have indeed. But
What do you got?
I'm really torn between
I
a
don't know
lot
if
of things.
I don't know if I talked about the last car that I bought, but go ahead. What do you got?
looking at a 2000. This thing I always wanted. I don't know. It's like an oddball vehicle, and I like oddball vehicles. 2000 Isuzu Vehicross, the Iron Man version with Recaro seat
the Iron
stock.
Man version.
Yeah, Recaro seat stock and double coilovers in each corner, and the thing is very capable off road, but it just looks like no other SUV on the road. Looking at that, looking at maybe a 2013 Police Interceptor. They're not called Ford Tauruses any longer. Police Interceptor as a daily. The Vehicross it would be a winter vehicle really, because we do get quite a bit of snow here in New York City, especially out in the island where Seth and I are. And those two, and maybe a new S550, and maybe a CLS 63.
Wow, you're shopping.
Maybe I'll have to dump that. Maybe I'm gonna get rid of the CRX.
You are shopping.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot going on, and I haven't pulled the trigger on anything. But I am gonna go look at this Vehicross because it's priced correctly, and I'm gonna go take a look at it probably tomorrow. Who knows?
So I don't know if did I mention on the last
No, you
podcast
did not.
the XR?
No.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Because that was Maria Giannacci.
Right.
Okay, so I picked up another car in the meantime, which T-Minus went with me to check it out. I found it on Craigslist, and I've always wanted one of these cars, and he's got he has a passion for these cars as well.
I do.
And it's a unique car. It was a European-bred but American-marketed car, which was I bought a Merkur XR4Ti. Now,
Which is a 4-cylinder turbo.
yeah, if you're not familiar with it, it's kind of like a hybrid version of a Mustang with a 4-cylinder turbo Ford engine, which was the same engine basically as the SVO for the Mustang.
Right, with like German styling.
Right. And this car is just completely immaculate inside.
It's a special little car.
It was a one-owner car. Mm-hmm. It has very
Of
low
course,
mileage.
Seth finds this incredible deal as usual.
Low mileage. And I made him an offer he couldn't refuse.
He did. Actually, the guy should have refused it. And he was just like, I don't know why he said okay. Maybe, Seth is received right. The guy was like, okay, here's the title.
It was my charm.
It probably was.
And I wound up with the car, and now the car is currently at a shop being restored.
Right. That and, you got your Conquest.
The Conquest TSI.
Yep.
But I've run out of space to put cars, so I'm not going to get silly. I think that's it
Yeah, okay.
for now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm always shopping. We're the kind of guys that are always on Craigslist and sending each other these dumb messages at like 4:30 in the morning.
Seriously.
And I'm like laying on the couch or in bed, and I'm just dozing off, and all of a sudden, blink, and I look, and I'm like, oh shit, a Craigslist link. I got to look at it because I cannot just go back to sleep without looking.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to see it. Like, you never know what pops up. Really, the truth is, crazy things pop up on Craigslist all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I've bought quite a number of cars that way. I've also bought a lot of cars when they're listed improperly.
Really?
The Merkur was not listed properly.
Really?
Yep, it was listed as a Mercury.
Huh.
So, if you're looking for a Merkur and you type in Merkur, that car would not come up.
Wow.
I just happened to find it because I searched by the word turbo.
Oh, yeah, you could do turbo. I do police, I do military, I do RHD for right-hand drive. I do turbo, I do fast,
I do
lifted.
RHD, JDM.
I don't do JDM because too much bullshit Civics come up.
Skyline.
Yep, Skyline. I do lifted. I do Monster for Monster Truck because I like lifted trucks. I do dually. There's a lot you can do.
Yeah, so I stumbled across it that way. And
Seth and I are pretty all across the board when it comes to different cars for different reasons.
we do kind of like a lot of the same.
Yeah, we're eclectic like that, I guess. Like both a passion for that. What was it? What was it? Not the Peugeot. What was
The
it?
R5?
Yes. R5 Turbo 2.
I missed that car.
Dope ass little car.
Yeah, I missed that car.
Yeah,
That was a fun one,
Lancia Integrale.
Ugh, another one.
Dying to get that.
Yes, a Dodge Omni GLH Turbo.
Yes, I want a Mitsubishi Delica 4-wheel drive.
Yes.
That no one has. I don't know. There's some weird cars out there that a lot of people don't know about. And that's part of the reason of owning something, because you're off the beaten path and you're not like everybody else, and you enjoy the car for what it is, as opposed to, trying to, up your financial status, or not your financial status, but like, your financial status, or, you're trying to get laid, you're trying to impress people, or whatever it is. So,
I mean, for me, I'm just shopping for cars from my childhood.
yeah, and that you want to drive.
The cars I always wanted when I was in high school, these are those cars.
Right.
I wasn't looking at Ferraris in high school.
No.
I would never even imagine being able to afford one.
Absolutely not.
So the cars that I wanted in high school, the 300ZX twin turbo, the 3000 GT
Hell yeah.
VR4,
Yes.
the Galant VR4,
Yes, the Galant VR4. Woo!
the
Four-wheel steering, four-wheel
the
drive.
Isuzu Impulse Turbo,
Yes, I was looking at those last night.
the iMark with the Lotus inspired handling,
Right. That's what.
You know.
There's one for in Yonkers right now, $1,400.
the Toyota Supras, the Celica
The Celica
All-Track
All-Track. Yes. I was looking at those last night too.
The Subaru SVX,
The SVX Super Special. Right. Hell yeah.
These were the
The
cars that drove
Cyclone, the
us.
Typhoon.
Yeah, the Grand National,
Yes.
the Monty SS.
Right.
Everybody wanted a Monty SS. They had the Aero,
Yeah, but that was like weird looking.
that weird back window.
Yeah, they had that for NASCAR.
GTA Turbo.
The GTA Turbo.
They were
Speaking of
just cool.
GTA Turbos, what's up with Serge? We got to get him on the podcast. He's got quite a collection now.
The Chevy Beretta GTZ.
Remember that? Wow. They had a LeSabre GTZ also. Wow. A lot of cars.
Yeah, a lot of cars. So that's what I'm, really looking at now. I don't have room to store any exotics anywhere.
And the Porsche made Mercedes-Benz 500E that they only made. That's a collectible right now.
Did I find one? You found one. Yeah, I think maybe you did. A white one?
I think so. A white one. Yeah, a white
Yeah,
one.
that was cool.
Yeah.
was very
That's the
cool.
next come-up car. That's the next, E30 M3. That's going to be worth
Yes.
some big bread. Just like you can't find a C2 turbo for under 150 grand now. And just a
Untouchable.
couple of years ago, they were 50 grand
or less.
or less. Right? Yeah.
Pretty scary.
Pretty crazy.
Pretty scary. But you know what? We're going to keep this podcast to strictly an hour. This is one of our in-between podcasts because, like we said, next podcast for November 1st, we have Victor Muller from Spiker. We apologize for this launching late. We were wrapped up with a lot of stuff going on. I was moving my business as well as the Hunt Rally, which absorbed much of my time.
Right?
But now that that's past us, we'll be doing these regularly. And
Back on track.
Back on track. We hope you all enjoyed. T-Minus, why don't you go ahead and give yourself a plug?
Yep. You can follow me at T-_car lifestyle on Instagram. That's TMINUS_CARLIFESTYLE. You can DM me there. Obviously, follow Car Lifestyle on Instagram. And that's about it. I guess that leads it back to you, Seth.
My name is Seth Rose, and you can find me at Exotics Rally, at The Hunt Rally, and at Art of Rap NY. All of those are Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. If you're in the neighborhood and you want to swing by, we just moved to a new location. We are in the same building as Gianni's Toy Storage at 480 Smith Street, and that's in Farmingdale, New York. We are open Monday through Friday from 9 to 6 p.m. That is the headquarters for Exotics Rally and Art of Rap. So, without further ado, I believe that's a wrap.
Car Lifestyle.